Norman Mattos Bentwich OBE MC was a British barrister and legal academic. He was the British-appointed Attorney General of Mandatory Palestine and a lifelong Zionist. Biography. Norman Bentwich was the oldest son of British Zionist Herbert Bentwich. He attended St Paul's School in London and Trinity College, Cambridge. Bentwich was a delegate at the annual Zionist Congresses from 1907 to 1912. He paid his first visit to Palestine in 1908. During the British military administration of Palestine, Bentwich served as senior judicial officer, which continued in the civil administration after 1920 as legal secretary. The title was soon changed to Attorney General, a post he held until 1931. Bentwich played a major role in the development of Palestinian law. According to Likowski, he concentrated his efforts on providing Palestine with a set of modern commercial laws that he believed would facilitate economic development and, thus, attract more Jewish immigration. Bentwich's perceived Zionist bias made him increasingly unpopular with Palestinian Arabs, who conducted demonstrations and other protests against his presence in the administration. Some British officials, including the Colonial Office and the Chief Justice of Palestine Michael McDonnell, saw him as a liability and agitated for his dismissal. In 1929 he was barred from representing the government at the Shaw Commission into the August riots. In late 1930 he went on leave to England, where he unsuccessfully sought to gain support for his continued role in Palestine. He was offered senior judicial positions in Mauritius and Cyprus but turned them down. In August 1931 his appointment as Attorney General was terminated by the Under-Secretary of State for the Colonies, who cited the peculiar racial and political conditions of Palestine, and the difficulties with which the administration has in consequence to bear. In November 1929, Bentwich was shot in the thigh by a 17-year-old Arab employee of the Palestine police. His assailant was sentenced to 15 years hard labor, despite Bentwich personally advocating for him. From 1932 to 1951 Bentwich occupied the chair of international relations at the Hebrew University of Jerusalem. His first lecture on Jerusalem, City of Peace, was disrupted by Jewish students who considered him too conciliatory towards the Arabs. Several of the ringleaders, one of them Avraham Stern, were suspended. Bentwich was a disciple of Zionist thinker Ham and wrote a book about him, Ham and his philosophy. In 1927, he was one of the Jewish members of Palestine administration who in 1929 joined Brit Shalom, a society founded to find rapprochement between Jews and Arabs in Palestine. He was later president of the Jewish Historical Society of England. In his book, Mandate Memories, he stated that the Balfour Declaration was not an impetuous sentimental act of the British government, as has been sometimes represented, or a calculated measure of political warfare. It was a deliberate decision of British policy and idealist politics, weighed and reweighed, and adopted only after full consultation with the United States and with other allied nations. Academic and legal career. Called to the bar, 1908. Ministry of Justice, Cairo, 1912 to 1915. Major, Camel Transport, 1916 to 1918. Legal Secretary to Military Administration, Palestine, 1918 to 22. First Attorney General in Mandatory Government of Palestine, 1922 to 30. Recalled to Colonial Office, 1930-31. Professor of International Relations, Hebrew University of Jerusalem, 1932 and 1945 to 1951. Director of League of Nations High Commission for Refugees from Germany, 1933 to 1935. British Ministry of Information and Air Ministry, 1939–45. Co-editor of the Jewish Review, 1910–1913 and 1932–1934. Lecturer at Hague Academy of International Law, 1929, 1934 and 1955. Vice President, Jewish Committee for Relief Abroad. Chairman, National Peace Council, 1944–1946. Chairman, United Restitution Organization, 1948–1971. Foreign Office Committee on Restitution in British Zone of Germany, 1951. President, Jewish Historical Society, 1960–1962. Chairman, Friends of Hebrew University. President of Northwestern Reform Synagogue, Aleph Gardens, London, 1958–71. Published works. Bentwich published a large number of books and articles. Some of his books are listed here. Philo-Judaism of Alexandria, Jewish Publications Society of America, Philadelphia, 1910. The Declaration of London, with an introduction and notes and appendices, E. Wilson, London, 1911. Students' Leading Cases and Statutes on International Law, Sweeten Amp, Maxwell, London, 1913. Josephus, Jewish Publications Society of America, Philadelphia, 1914. Bentwich, Norman. Palestine of the Jews' Past, Present and Future. London, K. Paul, Trench, Trubner. Hellenism, The Jewish Publications Society of America, Philadelphia, 1919. Ahad Ham and His Philosophy, Karen Hazard and the Karen Kamoth Israel, Jerusalem, 1927. The Mandate System, Longmans, London, 1930. England in Palestine, Keegan Paul, Trench, Trubner and Amp Co. Limited, London, 1932. Palestine, Ben, London, 1934. Fulfillment in the Promised Land, 1917–1937, Soncino Press, London, 1938. Solomon Schechter, A Biography, Jewish Publications Society of America, Philadelphia, 1938. Wanderer Between Two Worlds, An Autobiography, Keegan Paul Trench Trubner, London, 1941. Judea Lives Again, V. Gollancz, London, 1943. Israel, Ernest Bend, 1952. For Zion's Sake. A Biography of Judah L. Magnus, first Chancellor and first President of the Hebrew University of Jerusalem, Jewish Publication Society, 1954. Israel and Her Neighbors, A Short Historical Geography, Ryder & Company, London, 1955. The Jews in Our Times, Penguin Books, Harmondsworth, 1960. Israel Resurgent, Ernest Ben, London, 1960. My 77 Years, An Account of My Life and Times, 1883–1960, Jewish Publications Society of America, Philadelphia, 1961. Mandate Memories, The Hogarth Press, London, 1965. Israel, 2 Fateful Years, 1967–69, Elect, London, 1970. Jewish Youth Comes Home, The Story of the Youth Aliyah, 1933–1943, Hyperion Press, 1976.